Microphone check. Yes, everything is good to go. Welcome to High School Sports Unlimited. It is another week of high school football action. We cover all sports, all things North Georgia as far as prep sports are concerned, or high school sports, either way. I'm Judd Hickenbotham. That is Morgan Lee. He is sports editor for AccessNorthGA.com. How you doing, big boy?
I'm all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. Very, very good to have you here, as usual. All right, we got a lot to get to, of course. Morgan's been busy, as he usually was, out talking to coaches, talking to a player of the week or players of the week, which is what we have going this week, by the way. We also have games coming up this Friday, which will be week 9 of the high school football season of 11. And we also have games from this past week, and that's exactly where we'll start, Morgan. And we will start with the Flowery Branch Falcons. They had a very, very big-time test this past week, a game that they got up early on. It's a game you could find on AM 550 WDUN. Tony Schiavone and Gene Anderson had the call.
Snap to him, straight drop back, going over the middle, complete C.J. Curry, touchdown Falcons!
What a great catch by Curry.
Little slant in play that time. 13-yard touchdown from Coker to Curry.
There you go, C.J. Curry, a big-time weapon for Flowery Branch. And, Morgan, we've seen Flowery Branch playing some big games against some big-time opponents and blow some teams out. This thing came down to the very end. It was a 21-0 at one point, but give Heritage some credit. They came back and really made this thing very interesting.
Oh, yeah, Heritage was just showing that they are a legitimate team in Region 8 4A and took Flowery Branch down to the wire. It just took a great defensive effort there at the end to make sure that game didn't go into overtime or at least give Heritage a chance to take it into overtime. And the Flowery Branch defense all season has been kind of in the shadow, so to speak, behind that just incredible offense, and they stepped up and really showed what they had to do in the clutch.
Yeah, give you some numbers here. Candler Coker, 15 to 25 for 274 yards through the air. C.J. Curry, who you heard catch that touchdown pass, 152 yards for him on 6 catches as well. It's one thing to be impressed with a team that blows everybody out. It's another thing to be impressed with a team that can win close games like this against very good opponents. And that's what Flowery Branch did. I think the Falcons almost showed us more with this win, wouldn't you say, than any other win, including maybe the Hab Central game and that kind of thing. I mean, being able to beat teams soundly is one thing, but win a very close game is another.
Yeah, I would say so. Just certainly from an emotional and psychological standpoint, because going forward, there's going to be games like this once they get into the playoffs. There's going to be games where the offense just doesn't click very well, or they face a defense that can at least slow them down, and they're going to have to win games close. And knowing that you can do it is a big step up, and I think they really are excited, defensively anyway, that they were able to do this sort of thing. Offensively, of course, they want to score 50 points every game, but I think it was a big boost for them to be able to win a game like this.
Yeah, a couple of good points there. I mean, in the playoffs, they are going to play some close games against some very good teams, so they got to be ready for that. And you mentioned the defense. We'll be talking about that defense of Flowery Branch a little bit later on. Want to mention one thing, though. We always talk about the air attack of Flowery Branch. Jeremy Haley never gets enough credit, so we'll just tell you 14 rushes, 105 yards, and a couple of touchdowns for Jeremy Haley. A very, very good running back that probably does not get enough publicity because there's so many big weapons on that Flowery Branch team. We'll tell you about Flowery Branch, what they have to expect this week later on in the show. All right, Gainesville had a big showdown with Monroe area. This was a game that was tied 21-21 at halftime. Joel Williams and Harper LaBelle had the call over on 1240 ESPN Radio.
Open receiver, Cantrell's got it at the 20. Looking at the 10. Trying to go for the pylon. In there, he's got it. Justin Cantrell, touchdown, Red Elephants, a 35-yard strike from Watson to Cantrell.
Deshaun Watson, a big game for him. As usual, our cameras are rolling at this one. Morgan Lee was at this one. We had like a whole carnival going at this game. But talk about this one because you were on hand for this at City Park. I mean, this was a 21-all game at halftime. What happened in the second half of this one?
Second half was Gainesville quit making mistakes. I think was the big the big difference really is that that first half Gainesville got caught on a fake punt. They fumbled the ball away on a kickoff return. Both of those plays led to Monroe area touchdowns. Monroe only had one real sustained drive in that first half. Most of what they got was on short fields because of mistakes by the special teams. It was just a case of going in there and at the halftime and saying, okay, we're going to make just some very basic adjustments on defense. and we're going to shut them down. I mean, they only gave up 55 yards in the second half. So
wow.
I think that was the biggest difference. Offensively, they were moving the ball in the first half. Missed a couple of big plays, but they made a couple of them too, as you can see.
Yeah, absolutely. And you think about that offense doing what it does, but the defense really came up big. It's a very athletic Monroe area team, so give Gainesville a lot of credit for this one. Morgan Lee, after the game, got to sit down and talk with head coach Bruce Miller, who had to be excited about this one. Morgan speaking with Coach Miller after the game.
Well, Coach, it wasn't easy, but, kids fought hard, got it done in the second half. Talk about just some of the adjustments y'all made, maybe going to the ground a little bit more in the second half offensively.
Well, we went in at halftime. Offensively, we felt good about what we were doing. Our defense had to get them under control, and our defense got them under control in the second half. And the offense took it down, and we put the pressure back on them. And it was one of those games that, it can teeter either way. And it was one of those games that it's kind of good we get tested. I think we needed that.
Talk about that defense. I mean, they only allowed one long drive against them. I mean, the other drive they forced a turnover. Talk about how well they played tonight.
Well, defense, I always say our defense just scraps and claws, and they make things happen. And I was just so proud of our defense. Monroe has speed, and you got to keep it under control. And a couple times we let it get out of the pocket, and they can make big plays.
The start. I was just noticing on the sideline to start the game. Even in the stands, there wasn't a lot of energy and excitement. Did the kids feel like they got a slow start tonight?
Yes. Yeah, I thought we started slow. I thought everybody started slow. It was kind of hard to kind of get our guys to get up for this game. We were out of school all day. It was just one of those things. Nothing felt right about game day. But our guys came back and played hard and did what they had to and got victory.
Got your 100th win plaque there.
Yeah.
I guess kind of not as big a deal, I guess, to you as some other things. But it's still,
I want us to win the region championship.
Still got to feel pretty nice, though.
Yeah, but we knew we had to get this game to contend for the region championship, and our guys fought hard.
Do you see continued growth out of this team?
Oh, yes. I think anytime you get in a ball game like that and get tested, I think you see what you're made of. We told them at halftime they're going to test our character in the second half. Our guys stood up to the test.
Talk a little bit more of that game here in just a little bit. Actually, I mentioned now, we mentioned Flowery Branch playing in a close game, a playoff kind of game. Gainesville really, responded in the second half of a close game.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was the kind of game that Coach Miller kind of, frankly, wanted his team to be able to show that they could win. Much like Flowery Branch, you've got to know that you can win the close ones because they're coming for teams like this. You're not gonna blow everybody out, especially when you get closer to the postseason, and it's going to be a little bit different for Gainesville coming with that. If they win out the rest of the way and make sure that they're in it, but if when Gainesville plays in that region title game. You would imagine that's going to be a much closer game than any other game they've played so far this season.
Yeah,
so it was big to be able to win this.
I would say so. They're going to have close games down the stretch. Deshaun Watson got his yards, didn't necessarily get his completion percentage, 11 of 24 passing, but 332 total yards. Deshaun Watson, man, he knows how to really move that ball for that Gainesville offense. Okay, Lakeview Academy. Congratulations to the Lions. They get their second win of the year in a big way. They beat North Cobb Christian 49-22 in this one. Our cameras were at this game as well. And Morgan, those big bad Lions, they kept the ball on the ground and had a lot of yardage against a team, North Cobb Christian, that has given up some points this year.
Yeah, 451 yards rushing. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's not
pretty
bad.
Good running the ball. Yeah, and that's what Lakeview does when they're successful. They're just going to run all over you. And playing against a defense that, frankly, they expected to kind of be able to do this too, and they did it, and that's pretty impressive considering, just how far this team has come this year with so much youth on it to start the season, and switching some guys around and kind of trying to get the best out of what they can do. And they certainly have shown that they have learned a lot this year and are a much better team.
Yeah, absolutely. And, they say they could be 5-1 on the year, and that's really not far from the truth. I think only one game they've really gotten blown out. Everything else they've been very close with. They're playing some good football. Mataskunas, 144 yards and a couple of rushing touchdowns. Ted Reynolds, 123 yards and a score as well. So Lakeview Academy really kind of turning it around and having themselves, they're 2-4. but they haven't been around very long. They're doing it, and they did against North Cobb Christian. Okay, so congratulations to them. One other game before the break. Athens Academy beats Commerce 21-10, a game that the Tigers really kind of needed, right?
Yeah, absolutely. One of those games that, it's not, when you say they needed it, it's not really going to make or break their playoff chances. But it's certainly one that you want to have going into the kind of the back end of the schedule where your playoff chances will be made or broken. And just Athens Academy, just a very good team, even though they had started just 1-2 in the region, which is unusual for them. But I certainly think that Commerce has got a chance to bounce back here the next couple of games.
I think they do too. I mean, they're 3-4 on the year, but they've shown that they have played some good football. You mentioned Athens Academy, a very good team, and Commerce was right in that game, but couldn't get it done. 21-10 was the final on that one. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, not such a good Friday night for Jefferson, for East Hall. A big-time surprising night, just because of the score, for the North Hall Trojans. More after this. High School Sports Unlimited after this break.
At the offices of Dr. Norman Peets, DDS on Green Street in Gainesville, patients have all their general dentistry needs explained. Ask about sedation dentistry. Dr. Peets' team of professionals puts you at ease. Dedicated, experienced, professional. He's Gainesville's family dentist. Dr. Norman Peets, 615 Green Street in Gainesville.
I will not march blindly into the fluorescent light of Monday morning to a job I do not love. I will not go with the flow. I am not a carbon copy. I will visit this website before tomorrow because I refuse to work for the weekend, even if everyone is working for the weekend. Today, I will find a job that I love. Today, I will find my career happiness.
High School Sports Unlimited rolling on. You can hear us Thursday night, 6 p.m., Friday afternoon, 3 p.m., both of those on 1240 ESPN Radio. And we are on AccessNorthGA.com, the on-demand little blue button at the top of the main page there, AccessNorthGA.com. And then, of course, Morgan, as usual, being a team player he is, one of his many articles that he writes each week We'll be highlighting some of the games, and we'll have a little link to it there as well. So there you go, High School Sports Unlimited. 3 different ways to tune in. If you watch the video, of course, you'll see some video highlights of the different games that we go to. Or if you want to be a little lazy, that's fine. We're radio guys anyway, so you can listen to the radio as well. All right, let's get back to the action. And North Hall, they go up to Dahlonega. Myself and Dan Kiley went up there as well to see what the Trojans could do, and what they did plenty of.
Hand off Amani Cross. Nice little stutter step, and he's gone. Amani Cross is history across the 50. Nobody going to catch him. First play after the fumble, 80 yards. Amani Cross into the end zone. It is 20-0 North Hall.
That was the first quarter. Very first quarter. They were up 21-0, and in the first quarter, they were up 42-0 at halftime. The Trojans are just, they're like a big old boulder rolling downhill, and they just keep on gaining more and more speed. I mean, they absolutely bullied Lumpkin County around. It wasn't even close.
Yeah, I kept getting text updates from that game and just going, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, it was one of those games where it just seemed like once things started going North Hall's way, which was very early, it was all North Hall, and I was shocked, frankly. I thought it would be a pretty good game.
Yeah, and give a guy that we don't talk much about, Wade Phillips, a lot of credit. A 77-yard touchdown return on the opening kickoff. He closes it with an 87-yard interception return for a touchdown as well. And in the middle, it was Amani Cross rolling up his yards as usual. 11 carries, 225 yards. We've done a few North Hall games this year, Dan Conley and myself, and we say a team gets in 3rd and 6 situation, 3rd and 8, they think to pass. Honestly, they should just hand the ball to Amani Cross because he'll get that chunky yardage more times than not. I mean, he's like a pass play. It's amazing.
As long as you can get him past that first tackler, maybe get him a little bit of just even the tiniest bit of space, he's gonna at the very least fall forward for 3 or 4 yards. So I can't imagine a better scenario really than to hand him the ball just as many times as you can.
Now, Lumpkin County looked a lot like Chestatee when they played North Hall, where they just kind of after the first quarter looked shell-shocked. North Hall just came in and hit them in the mouth, and Lumpkin really couldn't do too much about it. Indians in the first half, very ugly for them. 3 lost fumbles, 1 interception, a turnover and downs, and a punt. That's what happened for them in the first half of that game, and that was absolutely it. Got to see Ian McIntosh play. Didn't get a ton of chances to touch the ball because they had to throw the ball downfield a lot more, but he really showed what he could do as well. Lumpkin, a very good team, but they got steamrolled by a very hot, very good team in the North Hall Trojans. North Hall going to be in action this week and be on radio. We'll tell you more about that coming up. All right, our cameras were there for the East Hall Vikings. They took on Fannin County. And, Morgan, we knew this thing was going to be a pretty tough one for East Hall. They hung in there for a while against a good Fannin County team, but ended up losing 35-19. They came back a little bit at the end and made it a little more interesting.
Yeah, just we got off the phone with Coach Gray over at East Hall, and he was just he was very disappointed in what he saw from his team in that first half. Kind of came in and played a little tentatively, and Fannin County, full credit to them, they came out and just were ready to rock from the opening kickoff, and frankly just kind of punched East Hall in the mouth and went at it. And that's a team that has gone through some adversity in the past couple weeks with having their head coach relieved of his duties, and but they maintained their defensive and offensive coordinator, so they knew exactly what they were going to keep doing. And they just ran right over East Hall in the first half.
Give Fannin a lot of credit because of what you just said. Going through a coaching change, they lost a couple games in a row, and they came out and played really well. It's very interesting. Teams like Fannin, North Hall, Gainesville, these teams that have been to the playoffs, they know what to do at the end of the season. It's amazing to see these teams just get stronger as you go to the end of the year.
Well, there's no substitute for experience, and especially winning experience, because as you said, you get to this point of the year and you just kind of know how to turn it on because you've been around it and you know how to react and respond in these situations. Teams that maybe haven't been there, like in East Hall, they're having to learn their way, and doing that against teams that do know what they're doing is very difficult.
Yeah, it is. East Hall with 244 rushing yards. Jamon Witt, another good game for him, 111 yards and 3 touchdowns for Witt. Cameron Davis running the ball as well for 70 yards for East Hall, but it's a loss for the Vikings. They have a pretty big, pretty tough game coming up this week as well. We'll tell you more about that one coming up. All right, the Jefferson Dragons were in action against Elbert County, and you're thinking, okay, well, if Elbert's going to win, they're going to have to score tons of points because Jefferson's offense is great, right? Well, Jefferson's offense is great. Elbert County's defense is pretty good, too. 14-0 the final. Not a historical shutout, I guess, but something that hadn't been seen in those parts for a while.
Yeah, first shutout since 2005, so certainly not something that anybody around Memorial Stadium is used to seeing. But against a team like Elbert County, I can't say it's a huge shock. I was a little surprised at the scoreline, but frankly, you expect Elbert County to kind of come in and get it done. They are rolling right now, and number 6 in Class AA, and frankly could be higher, I think, by the time the season's over.
Jefferson is a little behind the 8 ball, wouldn't you say? I mean, they trail both Elbert and North Oconee. We knew 8AA was going to be tough, and to have a couple losses like that, it can be very tough for Jefferson and dangerous.
Yeah, certainly. They're behind the 8 ball as far as winning a sub-region title. They're by no means out of the playoff race in 8AA because of that play-in game. I think they'll finish 3rd in the sub-region. They'll play against the number 3 team from 8AA North, and I think they'll have a very good shot at making the playoffs at no worse than a 4 seed.
They're going to be taking on East Jackson and Jackson County. Sorry, Scott McIntyre, but we've got to be honest. They haven't had the best sub-region and region records so far. So a chance for Jefferson to finish pretty strong going into that crossover game, right?
Absolutely. It's a rivalry game, even though the two teams haven't played very often because they've been in different classifications for so long. It's certainly a rivalry game because it's that city-county thing. You've got next-door neighbor thing. I think it'll be an interesting game just because of that. You've got Jefferson, who's probably going to be a little beat up just after that tough physical game against Elbert. Jackson County is going to come in just raring to go, feeling like at least if they can't have a great season, they could make themselves a heck of a memory by beating Jefferson. So I expect it to be a pretty good game, at least early.
That's true. You never know what to expect in those rivalry games. So there you go. All right, other action, Franklin County, another team that's really just picking up steam. And this is a team that hasn't done it all that much. This is a young team coming into the year, but talk about two teams that have really, their seasons have just gone in different directions. Franklin County 41, Chestatee 7 in that one. Chestatee, the wheels have kind of fallen off this thing, and I think part of the reason is Jordan DeGraff's injury. He was back for this game, but man, the War Eagles have just, since probably the first quarter of that North Hall game, it's just been a different season for them.
It has been. Again, we talked about teams that have been there and done it and know how to do it, and Chestatee's trying to get to that point, and it's tough to see your starting quarterback go down at the start of a very big game. And frankly, you want to get a way to kind of Band-Aid that and get yourself through the next game, and it didn't work for them, and now they've really kind of started, as you said, to fall apart a little bit. But DeGraff played, against Franklin, but just looking at the stats, I mean, and even it was a fairly even game as far as 394 yards for Franklin and 316 for Chestatee. So you wouldn't think it'd be that big of a deal, but Chestatee did turn the ball over 3 times and just fell behind early. And when you're kind of up against it like that, and you've been losing, the ceiling can just kind of cave in on you.
You see that many yards, and I didn't get to see the game, but you think turnovers, and you think not able to capitalize in the red zone. Those could have been the two things. Definitely the turnovers for Chestatee. Stevens County keeps on rolling. They win 25-14 against White County. Give White County some credit. They held the score down against Stevens County, but Stevens another win. Chaz Thornton just under 200 yards of offense in that one. Stevens County, a very good team. That's a team to be reckoned with. Johnson just misses out on getting their first win of the year. They lose to Walnut Grove 29-14. Kind of a damaging loss, I would think, for West Hall, wouldn't you say? Oconee County beats them 35-31. Spartans had a chance in this one.
A little bit damaging, but again, with the way that subregion sets up, they've got a good chance to bounce back this week if they can do it against Monroe. Certainly, it will be a bit of a shock to the system after winning 2 straight to take a loss, but they'll feel like as long as they can get the job done this weekend, it won't really matter that much. But again, like we've said, it's just teams that are trying to get to that point. So we'll see how they react.
Another team that we talked about early on, they had a little rough patch in there, but Banks County gets a win against Rabun County, 40-28. This is a team that's thinking playoffs now, 5-2 on the year.
Absolutely, and just found out. In fact, they're now, I guess, technically 6-1 because one of those losses had to be forfeited.
Really?
Just found this out. Reading the Athens Banner Herald, Athens Christian had a player deemed ineligible for 3 games.
Wow.
Three wins that have turned around into losses. So
without even playing a game, things are getting better for them.
Now they're technically sitting at 6-1. Yeah, so absolutely, they're sitting there feeling pretty good about what they've got, and they're leading subregion 8 AA North, leading it all by themselves. Now they've got some tough games to go, but again, feeling pretty good.
Leopards looking good, absolutely. So Banks County gets the win against what turns out to be a pretty game Rabun County team, but 40-28 is the final there. All right, we'll take a break, come back. We will talk about the games coming up this Friday, as well as your Gainesville JC's Player of the Week. Flowery Branch fans, if you love your defense, come on back. High School Sports Unlimited, more after this.
At the offices of Dr. Norman Peets, DDS on Green Street in Gainesville, patients have all their general dentistry needs explained. Ask about sedation dentistry. Dr. Peets' team of professionals puts you at ease. Dedicated, experienced professional. He's Gainesville's family dentist. Dr. Norman Peets, 615 Green Street in Gainesville.
Hey there, I'm Dr. Ron Wilson. At Wilson Orthodontics, we've helped thousands of people just like you get that perfect, healthy smile they've always dreamed of. And we do that by using state-of-the-art orthodontic technology. Children and adults love our exciting Georgia Bulldogs game room.
Come in and experience the atmosphere.
Our team is the best around, and they treat all our patients like they're part of the family.
They were so nice to me.
Call us today to schedule your free consultation, and I look forward to seeing you here soon.
I will not march blindly into the fluorescent light of Monday morning to a job I do not love. I will not go with the flow. I am not a carbon copy. I will visit this website before tomorrow because I refuse to work for the weekend, even if everyone is working for the weekend. Today, I will find a job that I love. Today, I will find my career happiness.
Do you have dinner plans? Come and enjoy casual fine dining right here in downtown Gainesville. Scott's on the Square welcomes you for dinner Tuesday through Saturday night. With only fresh, prime cuts of steak and seafood, Scott's on the Square guarantees you'll become a repeat customer. Ask about catering or scheduling your special event at Scott's on the Square, 110 Main Street. Call to make your dinner plans or make your reservations online at scottsonthesquare.com. Casual fine dining at its best is right here in Gainesville.
At the offices of Dr. Norman Peets, DDS on Green Street in Gainesville, patients have all their general dentistry needs explained. Ask about sedation dentistry. Dr. Peets' team of professionals puts you at ease. Dedicated, experienced, professional. He's Gainesville's family dentist. Dr. Norman Peets, 615 Green Street in Gainesville.
Hey there, I'm Dr. Ron Wilson. At Wilson Orthodontics, we've helped thousands of people just like you get that perfect, healthy smile they've always dreamed of. And we do that by using state-of-the-art orthodontic technology. Children and adults love our exciting Georgia Bulldogs game room.
Come in and experience the atmosphere.
Our team is the best around, and they treat all our patients like they're part of the family.
They were so nice to me.
Call us today to schedule your free consultation, and I look forward to seeing you here soon.
I will not march blindly into the fluorescent light of Monday morning to a job I do not love. I will not go with the flow. I am not a carbon copy. I will visit this website before tomorrow because I refuse to work for the weekend, even if everyone is working for the weekend. Today, I will find a job that I love. Today, I will find my career happiness.
Do you have dinner plans? Come and enjoy casual fine dining right here in downtown Gainesville. Scott's on the Square welcomes you for dinner Tuesday through Saturday night. With only fresh, prime cuts of steak and seafood, Scott's on the Square guarantees you'll become a repeat customer. Ask about catering or scheduling your special event at Scott's on the Square, 110 Main Street. Call to make your dinner plans or make your reservations online at scottsonthesquare.com. Casual fine dining at its best is right here in Gainesville.
Hi folks, Butch Miller from Milton Martin Honda in Gainesville, and why you should get your next new car at Milton Martin Honda. First, a fantastic selection. We bought extra cars, so now we have the largest inventory in the area. Next, an incredibly low price. Plus, we'll give you more for your trade. Third, we'll treat you the way you like to be treated. Those three things combined, we call the Milton Martin Honda Advantage. So remember folks, if you think you can get a better deal on a better car at Milton Martin Honda in Gainesville, you got that right.
At the offices of Dr. Norman Peets, DDS on Green Street in Gainesville, patients have all their general dentistry needs explained. Ask about sedation dentistry. Dr. Peets' team of professionals puts you at ease. Dedicated, experienced, professional. He's Gainesville's family dentist. Dr. Norman Peets, 615 Green Street in Gainesville. At the offices of Dr. Norman Peets, DDS on Green Street in Gainesville, patients have all their general dentistry needs explained. Ask about sedation dentistry. Dr. Peets' team of professionals puts you at ease. Dedicated, experienced, professional. He's Gainesville's family dentist. Dr. Norman Peets, 615 Green Street in Gainesville.
Hey there, I'm Dr. Ron Wilson. At Wilson Orthodontics, we've helped thousands of people just like you get that perfect, healthy smile they've always dreamed of. And we do that by using state-of-the-art orthodontic technology. Children and adults love our exciting Georgia Bulldogs game room.
Come in and experience the atmosphere.
Our team is the best around, and they treat all our patients like they're part of the family.
They were so nice to me.
Call us today to schedule your free consultation, and I look forward to seeing you here soon.
Sports Unlimited continuing before week number 9 of the high school football season. Also some other fall sports going on, volleyball and softball. Morgan will be talking about those a little bit later on as well. All right, before we get to that and get to some of the previews for this coming week, one more stop to last week's action. Flowery Branch, the Falcons, boy, they win a really big game against Heritage of Conyers. The Flowery Branch Falcons just outstanding. The offense scored 21 points, but the defense did one heck of a job, and that leads us to our Gainesville JC's Player of the Week. It's presented by Jacobs Media. Morgan Lee went down to Flowery Branch to talk with some of the big members of that big Flowery Branch defense.
We're here with 3 members of Flowery Branch's Black Swarm defense, 3 captains, and Jacob Allen, Jonathan Frick, and Jacob Mathis. And guys, obviously a huge game last week. The defense stepped up and played a key role in y'all winning the game. You know, as a defensive player, kind of, you know, how fun was that to have the game on your shoulders?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. I mean, there was a lot of intensity going on in the game. We had a lot of fun, a lot of enthusiasm. We just played our hearts out, a lot of heart speed out there. I mean, it was a lot of fun.
obviously everybody knows Flowery Branch because of the offense, but defense still wins championships. Talk about how important defensive play is and how seriously y'all take what you do.
Well, I mean, it's real important. Obviously, from Friday night, the offense only scored 21 points, so if we would have given up any more than that, we would have lost. But it's really important.
Absolutely. Obviously, you're going to get to a game just like that one in the playoffs where it's going to be close. You're going to get a matchup problem, and defense is going to have to do it again. How big was that kind of a win for y'all's kind of emotional state, knowing that y'all can get it done?
It'll help a lot in the future because I know that we'll be able to do it. We just got to work on, making sure we get all our checks right and making sure that everyone stays in shape, and that way we can keep on doing it and do it again if we have to.
It's not 21.
This defense, talk about kind of, what y'all's keys are. What are y'all's goals every game for this defense?
We have goals for our whole team, but we have goals to make a shutout every game, try to hold teams to under 100 yards total every game. I mean, just small things like that, but in the long run, it's a pretty big goal.
Absolutely. Talk about how well you feel like this unit is playing currently, and how much better do you feel like you can be?
I feel like we're playing pretty good right now, but we can be a lot better. I think we can shut out a lot more teams than we've been doing.
And then finally, talk about as a defensive player, it's a physical thing. You want to get in there and hit a lot. How much do you razz the offensive guys about being, kind of the pretty boys and not taking too much contact?
We get them a little bit, especially the quarterbacks, because they don't ever get hit. They get hit maybe twice in the game if they're lucky. Offensive linemen, I mean, they get hit a pretty good bit just because they're linemen, and defensive linemen all hit at the same time. And it was we get them a little bit, but it's just defense. We just do what we do.
Absolutely. Well, y'all are doing it pretty well this season. Listen, appreciate your time, guys. Good luck the rest of the way.
To the Flowery Branch defense, not just those three guys, but the entire defense. That's your Gainesville JC's Player of the Week. And if you want to see the video on that, go to accessnorthga.com. Those boys look like defensive players. They look kind of mean, don't they? A little like you don't want to catch them back alley. They might take your knees out.
A little mean, a little scruffy. Just cultivating that whole down and dirty look. It's a black swarm, baby. They got to be mean. Got to be mean.
It's the other side of that Flowery Branch team that's going to be going for a state title. We know the offense can really put up some numbers, but you mentioned it, like what they did last week. Maybe a matchup problem with Heritage. The defense got it done and really helped them get that win. So congratulations to the Flowery Branch defense. All right, let's get to some of the action coming up this Friday, and we will start with the pretty big game. So Buford had a week off, and now they come right back and have their next marquee matchup. They're taking on Greater Atlanta Christian, GAC 7-0 on the year. Buford's 8-0. Buford number 1 in the state. GAC's number 3 in the state in AA. This, through the years, historically, has been a good matchup on paper and dominated by Buford.
Yeah, Buford's got the lead in this series, 14-2. The last win for GAC, I think, came in 1998.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's one of those games that you build up, and every year it's supposed to be pretty good, and not that the games themselves aren't good, but Buford wins.
Yeah, Buford usually gets it done, and it's a lot of times it's defensively. Last year they won this thing 38-7, and as Morgan mentioned, 14-2 is the matchup series, Buford with the lead as far as that's concerned. So that game is going to be on radio, by the way. We'll talk more about that coming up. All right, Flowery Branch does have a pretty big game. We saw the defensive guys, so let's talk about their action. They're going to be taking on a Loganville team. Flowery Branch is 7-0 on the year. Loganville 4-3. They're coming off a win over Winder Barrow, 42-7 win. But Flowery Branch kind of, I would think Lee Shaw, at least in the back of his mind, saying, okay, we don't need some letdown kind of game after Heritage.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to guard against that. Against the Loganville team that's playing pretty well right now, has come on strong and has got playoffs in the back of their mind if they can finish strong. So certainly Flowery Branch has got to avoid any sort of letdown. You would think the offense is going to want to explode and put a lot more points up there after for what was for them a fairly low 21 points, which just speaks to how good that offense usually is.
And kind of looking at that game this past week, I mean, was this something where the offense wasn't clicking right, or people that were there? I mean, did you give Heritage a lot of credit in that game?
I think it was a little bit of both. I think a lot of it, especially early, was Flowery Branch was missed opportunities. I think they dropped several passes, and just kind of weren't really in sync like they'd wanted to be. But 21 points was still. I mean, they were up 21-0 in that game, so it wasn't like that they were being shut out by any stretch of the imagination.
Okay, moving on, but staying in the same region, Heritage is going to be at Habersham Central. So they lose a tough one at home against Flowery Branch. Now they got to go to Hab Central. This is a pretty dangerous game, I think, for both teams. Really, Heritage now 7-1. Hab Central's 4-3 on the year, but this is a game that I'm sure the Raiders think they can get this thing done.
Certainly, playing at home, Habersham has been a different team this year. Not that they've been a bad team on the road, but they've been a better team defensively at home. And they've come up with a couple of huge clutch wins at home. So certainly a game that Habersham feels like it's going to be capable of winning. A huge game that they need to win, frankly, to ensure their playoff hopes. Sitting there at 4-3, right now you got 3 teams above you that are Flowery Branch undefeated at 7-0, and then you've got Clark Central and Heritage both with 1 loss each, and then you've got about 3 or 4 teams sitting there with about 3-4 losses. So certainly Habersham wants to come out of that muddle and at least grab that final playoff spot. So if they're going to do that, they can really take a big step forward in this game.
Forgive me for not knowing this, but has Hab Central played Clark Central yet?
Yes, they have. They lost that game.
So this is the final of the big 3 that are kind of above them. So.
This is it.
Yeah, so a chance to get the upset. So basically, they'll be sitting kind of pretty. You would think they would be definitely the favorites for the final 2 games of the regular season going into that thing. So if they're able to get this win, it would really help their playoff chances.
Absolutely. Although they've got Loganville coming in late, so that's going to be a huge game. So certainly, it's not one that they have to win, but it's going to be one that would make things a heck of a lot easier coming down the stretch.
And Kevin Ellison and the boys will be ready. Raider Stadium, Mount Airy kickoff going to be at 7:30. All right, Gainesville goes on the road. Gainesville 6-1 on the year, 3-0 in the sub-region. Just like last year, they're on a win streak. They've won 6 in a row. They're going to take on a Walnut Grove team that beat Johnson last week by 15 points, but maybe a chance for Gainesville to kind of fine-tune some things from this past week against Monroe area.
Certainly you would think so. I mean, again, you want to avoid a letdown on the road against a team that you're supposed to take care of. A team that just got its first ever road victory last week, so you want to be careful not to go in there just thinking that you've got it made. But I think Gainesville is gonna work a little bit to, as you said, fine tune some things on offense. They certainly have developed now a running game, I think, to go along with that pass game. Someone other than Deshaun Watson to tote the rock, and Ray Thomas or Rayshon as it is on the roster. I'm sorry, he's still Ray to me.
Wasn't it Ray? They had him on Ray last year.
He was Ray last year, and all of a sudden he's Rayshon this year.
What is that about?
I don't know if that's a Dorset thing. I don't know.
Right.
But anyway, I think that he has become that big threat in the backfield to kind of complement what they've been doing on offense. Now they're playing a Walnut Grove team that's obviously an improved team over last year, and it has got some athletes. And I think the defense will look at this as another opportunity to kind of flex their muscles and show what they can do.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're Ray, you got to go by Ray.
Oh, absolutely.
No matter what. All right, one other game to mention this segment. Johnson going to be on the road at Oconee County. Another chance for the Knights to get that first win. They could definitely pick off this Oconee County team. Johnson 0-7. Oconee is 3-4, but they had to survive against West Hall. It's, a chance for the Knights, right?
I think so. Certainly, Johnson is one of those teams that's got to feel like it's going to happen at some point for us this year because they've been so close so many times.
Yeah, they really have. We'll take a break, come back. We got some more football to mention. North Hall fans, we'll talk about your game. Stevens County, East Hall as well. A couple of good teams there. We also have some softball and volleyball talk as well. High School Sports Unlimited rolling on after this break.
Hey there, I'm Dr. Ron Wilson. At Wilson Orthodontics, we've helped thousands of people just like you get that perfect, healthy smile they've always dreamed of. And we do that by using state-of-the-art orthodontic technology. Children and adults love our exciting Georgia Bulldogs game room.
Come in and experience the atmosphere.
Our team is the best around, and they treat all our patients like they're part of the family.
They were so nice to me.
Call us today to schedule your free consultation, and I look forward to seeing you here soon.
I will not march blindly into the fluorescent light of Monday morning to a job I do not love. I will not go with the flow. I am not a carbon copy. I will visit this website before tomorrow because I refuse to work for the weekend, even if everyone is working for the weekend. Today, I will find a job that I love. Today, I will find my career happiness.
welcome back. We are here. High School Sports Unlimited continuing again. 6 p.m. on Thursdays, 3 p.m. on Fridays on 1240 ESPN Radio to get you ready for the upcoming high school football week. And AccessNorthGA.com. You can see our smiling faces every single week, and you can see all the videos online as well, the different games that we go to, the player of the week. Even got to see Bruce Miller's smiling face after his big win against Monroe area this past week for the Gainesville Red Elephants. All right, we'll get to our radio schedule here in just a little bit. We got 3 games, as usual, on the air, heading down the stretch of the high school football season. We'll get to more high school football talk. State continues, though. Softball and volleyball, this is the time of the year when those two sports, particularly, the players kind of grit their teeth and get ready.
Yeah, it's been going on for a couple weeks now. We're getting down to the real nitty-gritty. We've only got one volleyball team left after the second round of the playoffs, which occurred Tuesday night. Gainesville really has come on strong this season, and they have played their way into the Elite Eight, the state quarterfinals in AAA. Beat out Locust Grove last night 3-2 after being down 0-2 in sets, and won 3 straight sets to get to the quarterfinals. So a pretty impressive win there for them. North Hall, West Hall, Jefferson, and Buford all checked out last night after the second round, and full credit to them. That all 4 of those programs had great seasons, and expect a lot more out of them in the future. Softball wise, we've got 2 teams still left battling it out with Buford and Fannin County are both playing in the second rounds. Starting today. I hope it's not pouring with rain out there. They're both scheduled to play their second round series starting today.
This being Wednesday, yeah.
Yes, and Buford is going to be playing North Murray. Fannin County, even though they're a 3 seed, gets to host because they're playing a 4 seed in Lovett up in Blue Ridge, and some pretty interesting matchups there. I mean, you got to expect Buford to make it down to Columbus, but I think that Fannin Lovett series is going to be pretty interesting.
Buford, who they beat in the first round again?
Buford beat Manchester in the first round, and it wasn't. I think Manchester scored a run, and
that was it.
I think Buford scored 32 or 34 runs in 2 games.
Probably get it done most series.
Yeah, 4-time defending state champion, going for a record 5th straight. But yeah, if they win, either one of those 2 teams wins this week, they're going to be down at Columbus for the Elite Eight tournament, which is kind of an interesting. It's one of the the GHSA does a few things very well, and that's one of them. Yeah. That whole tournament down at the old Olympic softball site down in Columbus, and it's pretty cool. And let's see, Union, Dawson, White County, Franklin County, Habersham, all fell out in the first round. But again, good seasons by all those teams, and just looking for big things from everybody in the future.
So if one of those 2 teams makes the next round, Jeff Hart, our buddy Jeff Hart, says that they might serve free food down there for the press, and so he can go down there covered.
It'd be nice to get a little bit more any help. But hey, I take what I can get, and if Hart's available, I will send him. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll definitely see.
Oh, and next week got a bunch of region cross country meets coming up, so that's starting to wrap up too. And looking for big things from the North Hall boys and Flowery Branch and North Hall girls, and all manner of teams getting ready for that big meet in Carrollton in a couple weeks.
Absolutely. And, we talk mostly football because it is football season, but we do cover all the different sports. Morgan does a fantastic job. Go to AccessNorthGA.com, go to the high school sports section, and you can read all about all the different games, the volleyball matchups, everything going on as far as state playoffs are concerned. All right, let's get back to the football action. North Hall with a pretty big game coming up. The Trojans, boy, they got it rolling. You mentioned, I think, in your 5 things that we know from last week, that nobody's really talking about that 0-3 start for North Hall anymore. They're talking about the 4-0 past 4 games.
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing what a 4-game win streak will do for you. And I talked to Coach Bob Christmas yesterday, and he said they're basically right where they want to be. You start 0-3, and even if you outwardly say we're confident, we know what we're doing, there's a little bit of doubt in your mind, no matter who you are and how confident you felt coming into the season. You back that up with 4 straight wins, and all of a sudden that little doubt is long gone. And especially the way that they've done it, getting better each game, and frankly just dominating past couple of games. So I think coming into this contest, they're feeling pretty good about themselves. Now they want to make sure that they don't get feeling too good about themselves.
They're playing a good team this week.
Yeah.
A team that's really turned it on.
Another team that's starting to get a little confidence. I mean, 2 straight sub-region wins, and has really run the ball well with that triple option offense against everybody. I mean, they gave Gainesville fits for a little while.
Yeah, if you think Franklin's going to come in and give their best shot against North Hall, you're crazy. Franklin is 2-1 in the sub-region. North Hall is 3-0. North Hall cannot look ahead of that Stevens County matchup at the end of the regular season. They got to think about this one because Franklin, if they're able to win it, of course, they'll have the same sub-region record. Franklin would have the tiebreaker in that one. So that one is going to be at the Brickyard in Gainesville, in North Hall. That one will be on radio as well on FM 102.9 WDUN. All right, Stevens County is at home. They're going to take on Lumpkin County team. Lumpkin really needs a win in this one, don't they?
Yeah, 2 straight losses that pretty lopsided in the score sheet. They're going to want to bounce back in the worst way. Unfortunately, playing against one of the better teams in North Georgia. Not saying that they can't get it done, but it's going to be a tough call up there at the reservation.
Yeah, absolutely. Stevens, man, a very good team. Chaz Thornton is the best player that maybe you have not seen, and I have a feeling that he could do some really big things in the playoffs. I mean, he's just an outstanding talent. So Stevens County going to be at home. Stevens won this thing last year, 35-24. It was a pretty good ball game, and so that one going to be at the reservation in Toccoa. All right, East Hall on the road at Dawson County. Once again, very big game for the Vikings. Very dangerous game, too, against a Dawson County team that can put up some points. They didn't do it last week necessarily, Dawson, but they got the win, 22-19. But this is a Dawson County team that can put up some points.
Yeah, I think both of the teams that are coming into this game have had some issues with consistency. They're both extremely talented, both explosive in what they do, just obviously a little bit different in what they do. Dawson can air it out, although they can run the ball really well with Zach Martin, too. But, East Hall is much more of a ground and pound sort of team with just some guys that can rip off long runs. If both of these teams play to their full potential in this game, this could be one of the most exciting games that we've seen all season because both of these guys can light it up on the scoreboard.
They really do, and they both desperately need wins. They're both 2-1 in the sub-region. East Hall is 4-3 on the year. Dawson is 3-4 on the season. So that one's going to be at Tiger Stadium in Dawsonville. All right, Banks County at Fannin County, another very good matchup. Boy, look at this. How many times does this have? Banks with the better record, much better sub-region record. Banks is 5-2 and 3-0. Meanwhile, Fannin just 4-3 and 1-2. But this game is at Fannin. This should be a pretty good one.
Absolutely. Fannin's obviously going to be feeling a lot more confident after getting their big bounce-back win against East Hall last week. Banks County's got to be feeling pretty sky-high at this point, having ripped off 3 straight sub-region wins. And it's going to be a slobber knocker because both these teams just like to churn the ball out on the ground, and both these guys have pretty good lines of scrimmage. So kind of one of those hide the women and children sort of games because it's just going to be big guys beating on each other, I think, in this game.
Absolutely. So that one is at Fannin Rebel Stadium up in Blue Ridge. Banks County really turned it on in trying to get themselves a playoff spot. All right, here's a game at the beginning of the season. Before the season, you were thinking, man, this could be a really good matchup against a couple teams. White County and Chestatee hasn't gone the way for either one of these teams. Both teams losing records. Both these teams 0-3 in the sub-region. This is a little more about pride than anything, but you keep waiting for Chestatee to kind of turn that switch back around. Maybe this is the week.
Yeah, you hope so. You hate to see, the way it happened to them with injuries and that sort of thing. So if they can get fully healthy, I expect them to be a much better team. White County is one of those teams that's got to feel like they're also just inches away.
Snake bit, man.
Yeah, inches away from a much better record, and it seems like they have moved the ball on just about everybody they've played this year. It's just that they'll have a turnover or a penalty at the wrong time and really kind of kill themselves. But it's almost what you expect with a very young team that's changed offenses and defenses. So I think what we could see a pretty good game here between two teams that desperately want to get in the win column here.
Yeah, that one is going to be at War Eagle Stadium in Gainesville. The loudest PA system in all of North Georgia, by the way, is at Chestatee High School. Good music, though, by the way. Jefferson going to be on the road at Jackson County. The Dragons, they really needed kind of a turnaround game, just 2-2 in the sub-region, taking on a Jackson County team that's just 2-5 on the year. But again, this is a road game. You never know, and it's a rivalry game.
It's a road game, a rivalry game. Saying a road game, I think the stadiums are literally separated by about 3 miles, maybe.
They bus the people to the different, I think, from one stadium to another.
Yeah, it's certainly, maybe we could get our own Scott McIntyre to talk about this game because he's seen it from the fans' perspective.
Yeah.
But certainly it is, again, like I said, a city-county rivalry. Everybody knows each other in this game, and two teams that really want to get away. Jefferson wants to bounce back and make sure that they get that number 3 spot for the sub-region. Jackson County is just looking for a little bit of momentum going forward. So 2 teams that really want to win.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, elsewhere, Lakeview Academy going to try to keep it going. They're going to be taking on Georgia Military. I don't know how much you know about Georgia Military, but they're 5-2 on the year.
They're in Milledgeville.
They're in Milledgeville?
That's about all I know.
That's good enough. Well, the game's not in Milledgeville, though. It's going to be at Jock Horner Field in Gainesville. So Lakeview going for their third win of the season after that big win last week against North Cobb. So good luck to them. Commerce, we mentioned that they're kind of up against it. They're 3-4 on the year. They're 2-1 in the sub-region. They're going to take on a Prince Avenue team that has looked very good this year.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be a tough game for Commerce heading on the road to Bogart. Prince Avenue has really turned it on this year and, have been right around the cusp of being a good team, and seems like they put it all together this year. But Commerce, if they can get that ground game going, I expect them to be able to hang with Prince Avenue, certainly.
West Hall going to be on the road in Monroe, taking on Monroe area. West Hall 2-5, Monroe is 5-2, but both teams are 2-1 in the sub-region. If West Hall want to pull an upset, this would be absolutely the week to do it. All right, let's take a look at the radio schedule coming up. The 3 games on Jacobs Media family of stations. The big matchup between 2 top 3 teams in the state on AM 550 WDUN. Buford going to be at home against Greater Atlanta Christian. This should be a very good one. North Hall is going to be at home against Franklin County. That one on FM 102.9. And on 1240 ESPN Radio, as usual, Gainesville Red Elephants will be in action. They'll be on the road, and they will be taking on Walnut Grove as the Red Elephants try to keep on rolling. That's going to do it for us. Have fun this weekend, man.
I hope to. I think I'm going to head down to Old Time Ride and check that one out.
All right. Sounds good to me. And Scott McIntyre producing back at the station. Mr. Jackson County with a wave to the crowd. All right, that's going to do it for us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. High School Sports Unlimited will be back next week. Enjoy your games. Goodbye.